So this is a little bit beyond retargeting, but you're going to get to see a lot of the actual retargeting setup process. So if you've never set up a retargeting campaign before, it might feel a little bit pushing you to your edge, but you're going to see how we actually create retargeting. It's a step beyond in the sense that this is actually creating stacks. So it's retargeting people based on when they triggered a certain event or based on when they triggered some kind of action. And this is what will allow you to essentially retarget people with different messages and funnel them even deeper into a funnel. So I'm actually going to take you into an ad account and we're going to build some retargeting stacks, and you're going to see how we would set those up in the agency. So for those of you who are not familiar with the term, a retargeting stack is just a really super fancy word. I think I even made it up. It just makes me sound smart. But all it means is that you're retargeting based on specific dates. So you're stacking the retargeting. Now, for example, an example of this is someone that visits your website. So there's lots of people that visit your clients' websites or your own websites. And typically what you might do is create a custom audience. So custom audiences are what you create when you want to do retargeting. You'll create a custom audience, and most Facebook marketers that are just getting started out, what they'll do is create a custom audience of everyone that visited the website in the last 180 days. Now, what's a potential problem with that? Can you guys think of an issue that might come because of that? So they forget about you, they lost you. So what it's going to do, guys, is it means that you're retargeting anybody that visited your website in the last 180 days. And so what you can, right off the bat, what you can think about here is, well, unless your creative is constantly being refreshed, so unless you're using this to boost your page content too, so you're constantly refreshing the creative. Oh, let me just mute somebody. What this means is that you're essentially going to be showing the same person, the same ad for 180 days, for half a year. That's not a great way to use money, right? Because if they haven't taken action after, like, you'd say like a month or two, they're probably not going to do it after, 5 or 6 months. So that's why retargeting, that's where retargeting stacks come in place, where you essentially break down, in this example, we're using people that visited a website, you break down the people that visited your website, and instead of showing everyone who visited your website in the last 180 days the same retargeting ad, you break it down by people who visited in the last 10 days, people who visited in the last 20 days, people who visited in the last 30 days. And each one of those is run as its own targeting, which means its own ad set, which means you can have its own creative, right? So they're seeing a different thing based on when they triggered that event, instead of just retargeting people with the same creative for almost half a year, which is not a great way to use your money. So this is what we're going to be looking at, and essentially that's what a retargeting stack means. So let me pull up my Lucid chart, and I'm going to do a screen share right now. So let me see this. So this is, I use a program called Lucid Chart to build out our funnels, and it works really well. I'm not an affiliate of it, but we use this one. It looks really good. So essentially what you'll see here is almost a stripped back funnel. So this isn't typically what we would, sorry, I am going to have to, can everyone just mute themselves, please? So this is a stripped back version of a funnel. As you can see here, there's not really any explanations on ad creatives. There's nothing top of funnel. So I wanted to strip it back so that we could just focus on this area here, which is really the retargeting stack. Now, what's important to note here before we kick in, guys, is this is just one example of how you could run this, okay? So you'll see here, top of funnel, we've got a video views that we're then gonna be retargeting, and then we're actually retargeting anyone that visited the website. And we've got certain splits of dates as well, of days here. So days 1 to 5, days 6 to 10, days 11 to 20, and then anyone that visited the website between these days. Now, it's important for you guys to recognize this is not the word of God. There's so many variations on the way that you could run this. If you have clients with massive amounts of traffic, you could split this out even further. You could do days 1 to 3, days 1 to 2, on and on and on. Versus if your clients are not really getting a lot of traffic or there's not a lot of people in these audiences, you'd want to space them out a little bit more. The other thing I want to state here is you'll see here we've got top of funnel, middle of funnel, end of funnel. So sometimes when you see the abbreviations of TOF, MOF, EOF, that's what it's referring to. Or sorry, this will be bottom of funnel, BOF. So when you see these abbreviations, that's what it's referring to, the step in the funnel. So the top of the funnel, this is normally what we call, you guys may have heard the term carpet bombing or carpet bombing, carpet cleaning or something. It's basically when you go out en masse to a large audience, and if you think of a marketing funnel, at the top of every marketing funnel is always awareness, right? So you build awareness, and typically top of funnel stuff is going to be blog posts, videos, lead magnets, those types of soft activities. In the middle of the funnel, that's normally where you shift someone into the consideration phase. So you're trying to get them to check out the product page, actively check out the product page. So that's usually the middle of the funnel. And then if you think of the marketing funnel again, after consideration is acquisition. So bottom of funnel is where you're like, okay, buddy, it's time to buy this thing. So you retarget anyone that visited that sales page. Beyond this, and this is an e-commerce example here. It could apply to many different scenarios actually. But beyond this, what you would even have further to this is if this was e-commerce, for example, you're going to have people adding the product to their cart. And in fact, e-commerce means online courses. It could mean a lot of things, right? So if you're selling anything online, people are going to add things to their cart. And believe it or not, about 68% of people that add things to cart abandon the shopping cart. It's a lot, right? So that's the average. That's normal. So anything higher than that, you'd be concerned. But if you're seeing abandoned cart rates of 68%, that's actually good. That's normal. And there's a lot of reasons, guys. People, will get distracted. Maybe their wallet is too far away. They can't be bothered getting up. You're asking them too many questions in the checkout process. The UX is wrong. Their kid just got bitten or is getting in a fight. There's a lot of reasons why people, or like I do sometimes, I will add things to cart. I'm really bad with Society 6, the art print stuff, where I will add lots of things to my cart. I get to my cart and I realize it's like $4,000. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'll pay this like in a week or two. And then of course my computer crashes in that time and I lose the tab and I totally forget about it, right? So there's a lot of reasons, but what I'm saying is this isn't actually like the template that necessarily will apply to everyone. In fact, even in this, you'd probably have another retargeting section where you'd retarget anyone that added the product to their cart, right? So, but we're gonna work off of this for now. So you'll see here, top of funnel, we're driving a campaign. And in this example, we're just pretending this is a video view. So we're gonna get video views. In our middle of the funnel, we're gonna retarget anyone that watched that video. And typically what I encourage you to do, as you can see here, it says 10-second video views, is you segment the retargeting of that audience so that it's people that engaged with that video to some extent, right? if you just retarget anyone that viewed that video, what's the potential problem there, guys? Yes, you can, I'll share this copy, no problems. Well, do you guys know why you wouldn't want to just retarget everyone that viewed the video? Yeah, perfect, Danielle. So it auto-played, likely it auto-played and someone just scrolled past. So they really weren't engaged. They really didn't really care. The message didn't really sink in. So typically what we do is we retarget people that viewed at least 10 seconds of the video. So people, excuse me, I need to take a sip, but people that viewed at least 10 seconds of a video. Now, if you have really short videos, like 30-second videos, I would do 50%. So people that watched 50%, right? Or so if you have like a 30-second, 20-second video, then I would do 50%, people that watched 50%. So I'm going to show you how we set that up as well. But just to go off this model here, we're going to retarget people that watched at least 10% of the videos in the last 5 days. We're going to show them one type of ad. And then we're going to retarget people that watched the video for at least 10 seconds.
Is already on the training.
Oh, yes, I am. Who's that? Can everyone just mute themselves? If I have to mute you, I have to like exit this. So Nicole, I'm not sure who that is. Can you just have a look and message her? So, and then we're going to retarget anyone that viewed that video in the last 10 days. And notice here, the way that we do that, because the thing is, people that watch the video in the last 10 days is going to contain about half of that audience is going to be people that watched it in the last 5 days, right? So if you didn't exclude one from the other, the problem you'd run into here is you would be competing against yourself. You'd be deduping your ad sets. So we're going to exclude this audience from this audience. So it means that we're retargeting anyone that viewed the video in the last 10 days, but we exclude those that viewed it in the last 5 days. So it means it's only targeting people from day 6 to 10. The same applies for this. Now, all of these are going to be aimed at driving those people to hit the website. And then on here in our bottom of the funnel, we're going to do the same stack. Days 1 to 5, people that visited the website. Days 5, sorry, that should be 6 to 15. And then days 16 to 30. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into the ad account. I just need to move this because this is getting in the way. Okay, so Jennifer, so 10-second video view means exactly that. They watched at least 10 seconds of your video. Okay, cool. Okay, so once you have your funnel mapped out, and obviously this is a stripped back version of a funnel. No, it's just views. It's not necessarily clicking on it. It's just they watched it. They had the video playing on their news feed for at least 10 seconds. Okay, so once you have that funnel mapped out, what you're going to do is the first thing you want to do is to create your audiences. That's the first thing to do. So we're going to go in our audience tab. And we need to create the first stuff we need to create. We're going to create all of these audiences. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And actually we have more than that. We have purchase. So we want to exclude people that purchased, right? So we've got 7 audiences that we need to create. So we're going to go custom audience. We're going to create our video views one first. So we're going to go custom audience, engagement, engaged with the video, people who viewed at least 10 seconds, you'll see it here, and this is, you know, the percentage. You can add as many videos as you want here as well, guys. So if you've got lots and lots of videos at your top of the funnel, you don't need to do it like one by one. You can add it all in one whip. So we're gonna choose our video. Just gonna use one of mine. Okay. So actually this is a good one because this is actually a top of funnel video as well. So we're gonna go here, and then what I'm gonna do is in the past 5 days. So people that viewed at least 10 seconds of my video in the past 5 days. And I'm gonna go FATC video 5 days. So you need to give it a name that you're gonna remember when you go to build your stuff in the campaigns. Great. Now we're gonna create our next one. And I'm gonna do, is this 10 days? Is that what I had? 10 days, yeah, I'm gonna do 10 days. FATC video 10 days. And then we're going to go 10 seconds, pick the video. I think it was 15 days. So let's do 15 days. Great. And you can go as far as you want with this as well. Okay. Now I'm going to create my audience of people that purchased. So custom audience, website traffic. You'll see here, this is the new layout for it. What we're going to do is click on here, and we're going to go purchase. So anyone that triggered purchase. And we're going to do actually 30 days, because if someone purchases in this situation, for example, we might say it's a type of product like leggings where we want customers to buy from us again and again and again, right? Maybe they're buying different things. So if they're re-engaging with our stuff at the top of the funnel, let them go through it again. So we'll just do 30 days. We'll go purchased 30 days. Done. And now let's create our website visitors. So we'll go website traffic, website, and you might do it a specific page. So if you know you're trying to build a funnel for a specific product, you'll do it for that. Now, obviously, if this is e-commerce as well, you would also be running a DPA. So you'd be doing, if you've got an e-commerce client with a lot of products, typically anything between 15 to 20 plus products on the website, you want to run it as a DPA. DPA is a dynamic product ad. So the best way I can explain that to you guys is, you know how you go on Amazon and you check out different stuff, and then you leave Amazon and Amazon retargets you with all of the different things you looked at? That's DPA, dynamic product ad. It means that Facebook is able to show your audience exactly what they looked at. So it feeds them ads of exactly what they looked like on your website. The alternative, if you don't have a DPA, and let's say your client has 20 products on their website, is that you have to create a retargeting custom audience and a retargeting campaign for every single one of those 20 products. So it's very, very time consuming. Whereas DPA will automatically do that. It will automatically do that. And the way to set up DPA, that's like a whole nother training lesson, and we can definitely cover that, is setting up product catalogs. So let's go back in here. So for the sake of this, we're just going to do all website, but obviously if you're doing a specific thing, retarget it by the specific page. Now, so we'll go days 5 is what we had. So visited site, 5 days, create audience. And we've got 2 more to do. So I think it was 15 days. So visited site 15 days. And then last one was 30 days, I think. Visited site 30 days, okay? Now here's how this works. Here's how you set this up. So you'll see here, we've created our audiences. I think there's about, I don't know how many, but we've created all our audiences. Now, one of the important things I just quickly want to mention here is sometimes Facebook will say audience too small. That's okay, just disregard it. It will still work, right? So anything under 1,000, Facebook will typically tell you that, and it's just being really picky and sensitive. So we've got our audiences here. What we're gonna do is go into our ads manager, and now we're gonna create our MOF, middle of funnel. So we're assuming here you've got top of funnel going, you're driving lots of video views on here. So now we're gonna go and create our MOF. So we're gonna you would typically run this as either, so depending how big your audience size is, if it's anything under sort of 10,000 people, I would recommend you run it as either a link click traffic or you run it as an engagement. Because on a small audience size, you really don't need to use what we call eCPM, so optimizing for conversions. You really don't need to, because you're gonna hit that audience, right? It's such a small audience, you're gonna get in front of them. And as long as your creative is on par with what they're after, it's going to work, right? So that's another training as well, like campaign optimization. So let's just go and run a traffic one here. So we're gonna go MOF, traffic, traffic to site, okay? Okay, great. Now we've got our first ad set. And if we go here, our first ad set is days 1 to 5. So I'm gonna go viewed vid day 5, so that I can easily recognize this ad set in my campaign, right? Now here's how you set this up. You're gonna go and select your viewed videos in 5 days, yeah? And you may wanna exclude people that purchased in the last 30 days. Maybe you wanna run, you wanna kind of run different funnels for those that purchase from you, because they're a very, very warm audience, yeah? So typically you need different funnels for those types of people. So I'm not gonna go into the rest of this, but it's really as simple as that. You don't even need location, because this is a custom retargeting audience. As long as your top of funnel is targeting the right location, is targeting the right people, this audience here should be full of those people. And then we're going to go to our ad level. And I'm just gonna run it from my page. And what you might do here is you might go, so the purpose of this is you're trying to drive them. So top of funnel, you would have created awareness. Maybe you had a lead magnet. Now you want to drive them to the sales page. You want them to check out what this product is actually about. So actively looking at it. So you might run this in a number of ways. But for example, if I'm retargeting video viewers, I might say, hey, need support with your ads. Join, sign up for the membership. Okay, so obviously this is just, I'm just gonna copy and paste this for the purposes of this right now. And okay, make sure you've always got this selected when you run anything other than a conversion campaign. Sometimes it's not, okay? So track all conversions from my pixel. This means that even though I'm using a traffic or an engagement objective, I can still actually pull up how many people purchased as a result of clicking on this very specific ad in my reporting. So I'm going to place this order. I need a photo. Jen, what is LC? LC, link clicks.
Link clicks, I think.
And what's WC? Website conversions. Oh, okay. So when you're running a website conversion campaign, you're using part of the algorithm that we call eCPM. This is advanced stuff, guys, by the way. You're using a part of the algorithm called eCPM, where Facebook uses its data, its knowledge, its algorithm to go out and find people that are going to convert. Now, typically, when you run those types of conversions, you've got big audiences and you need Facebook to optimize for that. However, when you have really small, warm audiences, you really don't need to use that part of the algorithm. In fact, you wouldn't want to, because it would actually increase the cost of your results. So that's typically when you have a small audience, you're going to run either a traffic campaign or an engagement campaign, because it's going to cost you, your CPM is going to be a lot cheaper for that. You're not using that heavy part of the algorithm. So it's not overkill, if you will. Actually, I didn't even need to save that. I shouldn't have even saved that. My client's going to get a notification like, hey, why are you running ads from the ad account? Okay, so let's close this. So then we go back. So you'll see here we've got our campaign, MOF, traffic to site. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another ad set, and we're going to do it for the next day. So anything under 10,000 people, Brad, I would run that as an engagement or traffic based. Yeah. So we're going to add our people that purchased. And then here's where it gets good. So now we're going to do watch the video 10 days, but we're going to, man, can you guys mute yourselves? Hold on. I need to exit full screen. Okay, it's gone now. Okay, cool. So here's where it gets really good. Now, so we've added people that viewed in the last 10 days, but what we're going to do is exclude 5 days. And so what this means is it's telling Facebook anyone that viewed the video in the last 10 days, but exclude those that viewed it in the 5 days. So what does that mean? It means you're targeting people between days 6 and 10. So that's how you do that. That's how you set that up. And then again, at your ad level there, you might do something else. You might run, you might want one for, in this case, this kind of funnel. I might run an example, a sample of one of the calls to get people interested to go and check it out. Or I might pull out one of the other hooks. Essentially, in all of the stacks, I'm pulling out a different USP from, in this case, FATC, and promoting that, right? So they're seeing something differently every 5 days. And then, okay, I'm not going to save this, but let's say we were doing the next stack. So this is how you would set it up. And again, for the next ad set, you'd select days 15, you'd exclude days 10. And then the same exact thing with your website visitors. What you're going to do here, sorry, one thing I forgot here, guys, is, so here we do 10 days. And then here we do 5 days. One thing I forgot here is we need to exclude, we need to create a visited website, and you'll exclude them. So you're going to exclude anyone that visited the website as well. So that needs to be, oh yeah, so it's already in here. So you're excluding those that visited the website. And the reason you want to do that is because if they visit the website in the last 30 days, they're actually in the BOF sequence. They're in the bottom of the funnel sequence. You want them to see those ads because they visited your sales page, right? So they need to see things like testimonials or discounts or special offers or act now, like urgent direct response messages, right? They need to see something different than your warm audience. They're a much hotter type of audience. So you want to make sure you exclude your BOF audiences from your MOF, right? Because anyone in here should be in here, not getting retargeted here. Make sense? Cool. So with our website visitors, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and go visited website last 5 days, or let's do 10 days so I can show you. And you'd set this up as a separate campaign, guys. So this would be set up as a separate campaign. And then again, you would exclude visited website 5 days. So now you're retargeting everyone from day 6 to 15. And you could even exclude add to cart here. We haven't created that audience. But that's essentially how you set up retargeting stacks. So I'm going to share this funnel. Let me go and delete this ad set that I just created now so you'd have your MOF as a campaign, and then you'd create a separate campaign for your BOF. And in your BOF, you would have 3 ad sets in this example. And in your MOF here, you would have 3 ad sets just like here in this example. So that's essentially the premise of a retargeting stack, MOF, of a retargeting stack, and how you set them up. So you're just excluding one audience from the other. The first steps that you want to do is create your audiences. That's the first thing you'd do. Well, you'd map out your funnel, because once you have this, it's really, really easy to see exactly how many audiences you have. And in fact, what I would encourage you guys to do is once you build out your funnel, type it out here. So just go like a shopping list of your audiences, so to speak. It's not going to work now, but you type it out here, have a shopping list. So list out all the audiences you need to create. And then you have a shopping list. You go into your ad account, you whip out those audiences. It literally takes 5 minutes to do. The next step after that is I would recommend that you create the creative. So typically we try to build all our creative as page posts, because when you duplicate page post campaigns or ad sets, it copies that ad ID. And the reason that's a good thing is because it then copies over all the likes, shares, and comments. Social proof, right? Social proof increases your relevance. Relevance drives down the costs of your results. So we would typically build out all our creatives as well. So again, you'd map out a shopping list of all the different ads you'd need. So in this case, we'd need 6 different ads. And then once you do that, you'd go into your ad account and you'd start building the campaign. So you'd create your MOF and then you'd create your BOF campaigns. So does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about this? So it is a little bit, if you're just a beginner and you haven't quite wrapped your head around retargeting, this is kind of like next level, right? Because this is sort of what you should be doing with retargeting. But essentially, yeah, I hope I didn't confuse you too much by going off in tangents with DPA and all of that stuff. So how many audiences, how many ads? Well, you can see that right here. So you'll see from here, we've got 6 retargeting stacks. So we need at least 6 ads. You may want to split test. You may want to have 2 ads under each one that you're comparing, 2 to 3 ads. So that means you double that, you'd have 12 ads. In terms of audiences, well, you've got at least 6, right? So there's 6 retargeting stacks, but then you've also got, you're excluding people that purchase, and you're excluding web hits. So you've got 8 audiences in total that you need to create. So you just go through here and you'd actually list out all the audiences that you have. Same thing for a webinar funnel, Desiree. So at the top, usually webinar funnels is like, the top of the funnel is the webinar registration. So here you'd have webinar registration. In here you'd be, let's say you're using complete registration as the event to track people opting into the webinar. Over here you'd have opted in days 1 to 5, opted in days 6 to 10, opted in days 11 to 20. And depending on the funnel, whether it's a high ticket funnel or a low ticket funnel, it's either driving them to book a call or it's driving them to a sales page, right? So it's the same premise. And again, this is not necessarily the skeleton that is going to apply for every single client, not at all. And I would even say that this one's missing. It's missing another campaign for, it's missing another campaign for people that added to cart, and it's missing another campaign for purchase. So existing customers. So how you re-engage them, reactivate them. Cool. So yeah, this obviously requires you to track stuff, right? That's why it's really, really important to use the pixel and set up your events or your custom conversions. Yeah, so highly recommend you guys do this rather than just creating, you know, a viewed website lasts 180 days. Now, something I quickly want to mention here is the frequency. So actually, there is a lot to be said about frequency, especially down here, especially if you're trying to charge money. So if you're trying to charge money for something, anything over sort of $200, frequency is really important. You want to make sure people are exposed to that ad a lot, yeah? So you don't want to veer off with your creative too much. You want to make sure that it's consistent and it's constantly reminding them. And having great frequency on those ads is not something to be scared of. So up here, you probably don't want much, very high frequency at all. But when you start to get down here, you want people to see your ad more and more frequently. So in retargeting, I mean, some of our best stuff has been frequencies of 17. Believe it or not, some people seeing our ads 17 times before they purchase. And that's been our most effective. It varies for client to client. But all I'm trying to get you to realize is don't be afraid of frequency towards the bottom here. Frequency is good at the bottom, okay? All right, guys, so without further ado, I'm going to stop screen sharing.